child is you. You are the timeless child.
In the end, you are merely another Time Lord!
Oh, Davros, I am far more than just another Time Lord.
I shall tell them of Gallifrey. Tell them of the old time. The time of chaos.
Device used to customize stars with. And didn't we have trouble with the prototype?
We.
They.
If you've been a fan of Doctor Who during the last few years, you'll more than likely know about the backlash and controversy around the Series 12 finale, The Timeless Child. But this wasn't the first time a writer attempted to expand upon the Doctor's backstory before they were the Doctor, as during Season 25 and 26, script editor Andrew Cartmel, along with Ben Aaronovitch and Marc Platt, put together a plan to bring back some mystery to the Doctor's origins, as well as to the Time Lords themselves. The three felt that the audience were too familiarised with the Doctor and the Time Lords, so when writing the story's remembrance of the Daleks, Silver Nemesis, Ghost Light and Battlefield, they included references to the Doctor being one of the founding fathers of Gallifrey, known as the Other. So why does this work and The Timeless Child doesn't? Well, one reason in particular is the fact that it was never concluded on screen. Since Doctor Who was cancelled in 1989, Season 27, which would have concluded this narrative, was never even filmed. Since on screen all we have is a couple mysterious remarks in passive dialogue, it means that the Doctor's proposed mysterious origins were mysterious in execution. Now, if you dig a little deeper than what's on screen, you'll come across the Virgin New Adventures novels. Written during the Wilderness years, these novels were all the Doctor Who content fans had at the time, but we're only going to focus on one book, Lungbarrow. Lungbarrow was written by Marc Platt and ties up the Cartmel Masterplan in a neat bow. The novel included many elements that would have been in Platt's proposed story by the same name, but was rejected by John Nathan Turner as he felt it revealed too much of the Doctor's origins, a decision which in my opinion is why the Masterplan works. Within the novel we're told about how the Doctor is the aforementioned Other, and how Time Lords are created via a loom. The Doctor is revealed to be the reloomed version of the Other, as he, many centuries ago, threw himself into the looms and was eventually reincarnated. Now that's just a very basic summary, and I probably did miss things, but I'm not going to take out a loan just so I can read the book for myself. To be honest, I'm quite glad that it was never made into a TV serial. It's just as JNT said, it reveals a bit too much about the Doctor's origins. I'd much prefer being left with what we got, or a couple of references here and there. So why doesn't The Timeless Child work? Well, probably the biggest reason is that it undermines the character of the Doctor. In the words of Harbaugh Holmes, the Doctor is now significant because of what she is, not because of what she's done. Doctor Who is about the adventures of the Doctor and the good deeds they commit through them, making them the person they are now. But this story tells us it doesn't matter that they've grown and evolved as a character, because they were always special from the beginning. When Doctor Who first started, the Doctor was not like they are today. Hartnell's incarnation was actually quite awful to people, not particularly caring for others. But since travelling with his human companions, he learned to become more compassionate and help others just because it was the right thing to do. But now that entire arc is kind of ruined because they were always like this. They just didn't know it. Another quite big reason is that it entirely changes the meaning behind many scenes, outright contradicting one in particular. It's revealed that the Timeless Child had the ability to regenerate infinitely, meaning that the Doctor no longer has to have any regard for their own life, as they can just regenerate again and again without any consequence. The scene where Ten sacrifices his life to save Wilfred is brilliant, and shows the Doctor's willingness to put others above himself. Except it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, since they weren't sacrificing anything big. They have infinite regenerations. The entire last part of Caves of Androzani, where the Doctor survived 2 warring factions and the crashing of a spaceship, just so that he could save his companion that he barely knew, giving her the only vial of bat's milk? Well, it didn't really matter that there was only one, as the Doctor has infinite regenerations. The entire premise of Time of the Doctor, where 11 has to defend Trenzalore as he grows older and older, nearing the end of his entire life, eventually being given an unspecified number of regenerations by the Time Lords so the show can continue without the regeneration limit ever having to be discussed again. Completely thrown out of the window, as since the Doctor has infinite regenerations, they shouldn't have grown old or worried about dying, or even received new regenerations from the Time Lords. I feel a bit like a broken record, so let's move on. But just because it doesn't work in its current state doesn't mean it can't be fixed or changed. Many people have had their 2 pence on the topic, and to me the easiest way would just for the Master to be lying, that all along he was in fact the Timeless Child, and told the Doctor it was them to mess with him. Of course, there is a massive hole in this. Why does the Ruth Doctor exist? They could be the 14th Doctor with a memory wipe, but since Chibnall's leaving, then they're probably not coming back. Another way is to tweak it slightly, by revealing that the Doctor, when they lost their memories, also lost their infinite regenerations. It wouldn't stop people being mad, it would just stop the undermining of the previously mentioned scenes. In conclusion, to me in its current state, the Timeless Child doesn't shine where the Cartmel Masterplan does. Though this doesn't mean it can't shine, it really can, but only if Chibnall lets it. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed watching, then consider leaving a like and subscribing down below, as this really helps out. Also let me know in the comments your thoughts, as I'd love to hear your take on this discussion. Thanks for watching.